There was a physicality about the team. There was a winning mentality about the team, and that's what the fans demand. We're trying to build something in a different way. I'm very, very confident that in time we'll show people why we've done it this way. And my job is to move that forward and try and get this club to that place where teams really, really fair coming to Stamford Bridge, and the fans really, really look forward to every game that we play.
You obviously experienced similar at Strasbourg, so does that help you?
Yeah, like I'll be honest, when I went in at Strasbourg, I was a joke in the media. They said that my team would finish last. It was an impossible project, that the players were way too young, too inexperienced. I was a nobody from England. We finished, I think, 3 points outside the Champions League. The outside noise is just noise. If you focus on the job, you focus on your players and your staff and your process, I feel like you can do amazing things. I am not promising it. I'm working towards it, but I believe very strongly that we can be successful here.
Thanks, Simon. Rob?
We're led to understand that it's your ability working with younger players that particularly impressed the bosses here. What is it about the way you work as a coach that makes you particularly suitable to working with guys at this stage?
Well, firstly, other than Ben Chilwell, who was magnificent at 28, all I had at Strasbourg were young players, and they were a joy to work with. I've worked with senior players. I remember having a great relationship with Phil Jagielka, who was 41 at the time at Derby, or with Curtis Davis, who was 38. Age is one thing, it's your ability to learn, it's wanting to be engaged in something. I'm not going to sit here and talk about my strengths as a coach. You know, my job is to show it on a pitch, on a match day, and in training, delivering the very highest quality of sessions and meetings to the players. I will let other people speak for me. It's not for me to speak about my own strengths.
What similarities do you see between what you had to work with at Strasbourg and what you're going to work with here?
Some outstanding, talented players with huge potentials, but the job for me is to turn the potential into reality. There's a lot of similarities in the recruitment of both projects. There's an idea about the way that the team should play, and I fit into that. You know, so for me, I'm very excited to get to work with this group. I've had 2 wonderful days being welcomed in by everyone. I feel at home already. The players have been magnificent with me in their engagement and how they've made me and my staff feel at home, and now I want to get into the games with them.
Thanks, Rob. Ben?
Liam, is your expectation that the leadership group for the players stays the same, captains, vice-captains, and specifically on Reece James? Speak a bit about his leadership qualities, and is he a midfielder or a fullback?
He's a very, very good player. He's a very good player, and good players can play in many different positions. I've analysed the recent games that we've played before I've come in, and I have to say Reece, in terms of his impact on the group, in terms of his performances when he's been on the pitch, I think he's growing every day. He's growing every day, and it's exciting to be working with Reece at this stage of his career now, because I think he has levels. The exciting thing for Reece, he has levels that he can go to even beyond what he's performing now. I think that's where a lot of these players are. It's always difficult when a manager, and Enzo's been very successful here in his own way in terms of winning 2 trophies. When a manager leaves, the group should be disappointed. It's a bad thing if a manager leaves a club and the players aren't disappointed, then there's something wrong. What I've learned in the last 2 days, not just about Reece or the leadership group, all of them, they want success. All of them are honest. They've worked magnificently for me the last 2 days, and I can't wait to get to know them better and to try and help them in their leadership to come here for a long time.
Thanks, Ben. And we'll finish with Elder.
In building your idea of football, which managers were inspirational for you?
I grew up with my dad, and my dad was a coach, and he was obsessed by football. Therefore, I was obsessed by football. I remember being probably 6 years old, 7 years old, Arrigo Sacchi's Milan, Louis van Gaal's Ajax, Van der Sar, Davis, Clarence Seedorf, Barcelona. My dad always encouraged me to watch teams from abroad because that was the football he enjoyed, and that's influenced my thinking in terms of the way I want to see my team play. I had a great experience in France, playing against 2 of my idols, Luis Enrique's. I don't have a big ego. Luis Enrique's a magnificent coach. I managed to play against him. Roberto De Zerbi, someone who I have a lot of time and respect for. It will be the same in the Premier League. Pep Guardiola has been one of my heroes. I'm not afraid to say that as Chelsea manager. Now I get to go against him. Brilliant, you know. And for me, it's about having that respect for other coaches in the league, but never having too much respect where I don't think I can be successful, because I think with this group, with my idea, I think we can be successful against these teams and these coaches in our own right.
And when you look at the group you have, you mentioned a lot of good qualities. Can you find a bad quality in the group, ones that maybe you need to work on?
Are you talking about negative?
Yeah, negative quality.
Of course you are, you're a journalist. That was a joke. It was a joke. I'm allowed to have a joke. No, I wouldn't say I don't speak about negatives. I think the biggest hurdle we have is realising the huge potential that we have in the group. Is realising it. Having what potential is one thing. I'm potentially a very good coach. My players are potential. Well, some of them already are world-class players. We need to not be a potentially world-class team. We need to be a world-class team, and that's where I'm trying to take the club.
Okay. Thanks, Davide, and thanks everyone.